Hi guys, this is my third video and I had a request from one of you to do like an about me video with like my favourite things, I suppose. I can't remember who that was right now, but when I upload this I will add your link to it. I'm sorry, if I could remember I would tell everyone. Yeah, they basically just wanted to know like my favourite TV shows, movies, books, food, things like that. I've actually written a bit of a list here once, so I'm not just prattling on all day. I probably will still prattle on all day, or all night rather, because it's 11 PM at night. I hope you all can hear me. I'm trying to speak rather quietly because my sister's asleep in her bedroom. So yeah, I guess we'll get started. I'm gonna try and explain why I like what I like as well. Yeah. So the first thing on my list is TV shows, and the first TV show I remember really loving was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, it does not get much better than that. It just doesn't. Yeah, that kind of hooked me on a lot of other shows afterwards. It got me kind of interested in sort of Joss Whedon written shows, which then kind of led me into shows like Firefly, which then kind of spawned off into things like Battlestar Galactica and Doctor Who and things. But yeah, Buffy. I just really liked Buffy because, you know, it was a really strong female character, and, you know, she wasn't this strong female character with no friends. She had the whole Scooby Gang, and there was Willow and Tara, which is, you know, probably for many of us who grew up watching Buffy, that was the first kind of lesbian relationship that we ever, you know, saw portrayed in media. So yeah. And then I guess there's shows like Battlestar Galactica. I don't quite know how I got into that one. I think I was watching Bionic Woman and I developed a big crush on Katie Sackhoff. And then I did some googling and found out she was in Battlestar Galactica, so I started watching that. I got hooked really fast. Yeah, good show. Looking chicks with guns, fighting against a whole bunch of aliens, and it's pretty good. Those of you who have seen it, the ending, I'm still not over that. I never will be over that. No, it was not right. And then I got into Doctor Who. I started watching Matt Smith's first episode. I have not seen very many of the other Doctors, mainly because of the new Who, mainly because I'm not a fan of Billie Piper. All of the Whovians who follow me are gonna probably be cursing me for the rest of the night, but I do not like her. The character of Rose annoys the living daylights out of me. Yeah, unpopular opinion, but really don't like her. But I have seen some of David Tennant with like Martha and Donna and all the other companions that he had. And I really like those episodes, just not big on Rose. No, she's too kind of whiny and I don't know. But yeah, started watching Doctor Who, fell in love with Matt Smith and Matt's Doctor, and more importantly fell in love with Amy Pond. God, Amy Pond. I still miss Amy Pond so much. I love Clara. I loved Rory. I hated Rory to begin with, and then I fell in love with Rory. But yeah, I'm not over the death of the Ponds. I don't think I ever will be over the death of the Ponds. Yeah. And can we talk about Alex Kingston for a minute? that woman's like in her 50s and she looks fucking amazing. Like, how does she do it? Like, I don't know, like, how does she look so good? Oh, another one of my favourite TV shows, Teen Wolf. I know it's made by MTV, it's kind of tacky and weird, but it's so good. Sometimes it's almost so bad it's good. Like, particularly the first few episodes, they're so bad they're good. I pretty much fell in love with Crystal Reed the minute I saw her on screen. My beautiful little baby. Yeah, I mean, I was drawn in pretty fast by the whole werewolf thing and this Derek Hale and Styles and Scott and all that stuff, and then as the seasons have gone on, it's just gotten so much better. I can't wait for the part 2 of season 3. I really can't. My life would be made if Steric was canon, but Steric is never going to be canon, as far as I know. Yeah. And then, of course, you know, Game of Thrones. I haven't read the books, but I've kept up with the TV show. My sister has read the books, so she's told me what's happening, so I know ahead of time. And yeah, I like Game of Thrones, it's pretty good. And then Orphan Black. I haven't seen all of Orphan Black yet. I'm probably on about episode 5. I really enjoy it. I don't know why I have stopped watching it for the minute, but I think I just keep having other things I need to be doing instead of watching Orphan Black, which is silly. Orange is the New Black, also a few more than a few episodes into that. Watching it with my sister, but she's got a lot of university stuff going on, so I haven't watched that in a very long time. I want to get back to it, but maybe after she's finished her exams. And of course, being a quintessential Australian, I have to like one Australian soap opera, and my Australian soap opera of choice is Home and Away. I love Home and Away. Love it. Horizon tonight makes me happy. So dramatic, and no one's ever happy for more than an episode and a half, but who cares? It's my guilty pleasure. I don't care. Yeah. The next thing I have on my little list is movies. One of my all-time favourite movies that I've seen so many times, and I can probably literally quote it, is Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's just a classic movie. Audrey Hepburn was just so beautiful, and it's just one of those movies that doesn't matter how many times you watch it, it will never lose its magic, ever. Like, ever. Yeah, it's a good movie. Then most of my other movies that I like are more recent releases, like The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I only read The Perks of Being a Wallflower, the book, like last year. Fell in love with it, kind of. I mean, at first I was a bit like, this is, like, the language was quite immature to my mind, and that kind of put me off a little bit. But yeah, the movie was amazing. Like, Ezra Miller as Patrick, he was perfect. I love Patrick. I love Sam too, but it was very weird seeing Emma Watson put on an American accent. Like, for those of you who are, you know, Potterheads, it was bizarre. Yeah. And I'm glad that Stephen Chbosky directed it as well, because, you know, he wrote the book, so of course he was probably the best person to try to translate from page to screen. Yeah, next on my list of favourite movies is The Virgin Suicides. this movie gave me a whole new appreciation for Kirsten Dunst. It's a very different film from the book. For those of you who've read the book, you'll know the book is told more from the neighbourhood boys' perspective, and you know, their recollection of the girls suiciding. Yeah, I just really like that because of the way Sofia Coppola directed it and the whole vibe of that movie. Like, I love movies with that sort of soft, kind of mysterious-y vibe. I love those movies. Then Whip It. Let me just say a few words on this one. Ellen Page, Drew Barrymore, and Juliette Lewis. Okay, that's all anyone needs to know about why I like this movie. That's it. And then The Boat That Rocked. I love The Boat That Rocked. I love 1960s stuff. I love 60s music, 60s clothes, 60s everything. You wouldn't know it looking at me, but I do. Yeah, that was just a movie that I really, really enjoyed. Music is the next thing I have written down. Those of you who follow my main blog, Lionhearted Girl, will know that I love Florence and the Machine. I love Florence and the Machine. I listen to Florence and the Machine on a daily basis. Yeah, like Florence, I don't know, I can't quite explain why I like Florence and the Machine so much. She's a lyrical genius. Just a lyrical genius, and her words are so powerful, and the music is just insane. Really insane. And if you know, like, it seems like it's a fun, poppy, dancey song, like Dog Days, which pretty much everyone knows Dog Days. But then you sit down and you listen to it, and it's about a girl who's running away from happiness. And yeah. Another artist that I really love is Pink. Most of Australia's obsessed with Pink. I've liked Pink for quite some time. I went to her most recent Australian tour, and it was completely amazing. Yeah, just completely amazing. I also like Lady Gaga. I had the privilege of going to the Born This Way ball last year. That was incredible, absolutely incredible. I like the artist Daughter. I don't know if very many of you have heard of her. I hope you have. Her music is really quite soft and indie and all that good stuff that I really like. If you can hear some sort of background noise, there's a bunch of drunk people outside my apartment building. Again, the perks of living really close to a university campus. Books. One of my favorite books ever. Mind you, all of the books that I'm going to be talking about are my favorite books. But one of the ones that immediately springs to mind is by an Australian author called Tim Winton, and the book is called Clout Street. It pretty much follows two Australian families living in one house together for about 40 years. It follows them, and they both come to this house after various tragedies in their lives. Like, one of them, their son nearly drowns and ends up with brain damage. The other one, the husband has some work accident and he can't work anymore, so they have to move to find work. And there's like 8 kids or something between the two families, and it's just really interesting how these two families, like, kind of, at first they don't coexist, but then eventually they do begin to coexist. And like, you see all the things that each person, not even the families as a whole, but each person, each individual goes through in that span of, you know, however many decades. And it's really, really interesting. Like, it covers all sorts of things, like the Second World War and yeah, a whole heap of things. But it's quite a bizarre read because the author doesn't use any punctuation or quotation marks. Well, he uses punctuation marks, but he doesn't use any quotation marks. So it's a bit bizarre at first when you're reading it, because you've never quite read anything like it. But it's amazing. It's quite a thick book, but amazing. Another book by another Australian author is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. A few of you have probably heard of this. It's set during World War II in Nazi-occupied in Germany. Yeah, it's basically about a girl who steals books, and she is living with a family, and they take in a Jew, and it's narrated by Death. The narration by Death is probably the best part. Like, yeah, it's simultaneously told from... No, it's told from Death's perspective of the book thief's life. And yeah, it's quite sad, really, really sad, and really, really long. It's like 500 pages. Yeah. And then another one of my favourite books is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. This was the first Neil Gaiman book I'd ever read. I must say I'm quite late coming to the Neil Gaiman party. I only read it after his episode of Doctor Who, The Doctor's Wife, was aired. I really enjoyed that episode of Doctor Who, so I thought I will check him out. Yeah, I really liked Neverwhere. It was modern but fantasy and old worldy at the same time, and it was just really good. I like the way he writes for some reason. But yeah, it's quite kind of... sometimes he almost writes kind of sarcastically. And yeah, that's good. Another favourite book is The Virgin Suicides. Obviously, I've talked about the movie, I've spoken a little bit about the book. Yeah, just a really great book, good use of language. Pretty much a modern classic, I would say. One of the shorter books that I really liked. Yeah, I would not be a 90s kid though without liking Harry Potter. I loved Harry Potter. Harry Potter was my childhood. My everything. I need to reread Harry Potter. I need to rewatch the movies. Yeah, Harry Potter was good. And then food and drink. If I could eat one, well, I wouldn't say if I could eat one food for the rest of my life, but one of my favourite foods is peanut butter. I love peanut butter. I will just eat peanut butter out of the jar, but it has to be natural peanut butter or organic peanut butter. None of that added salt and sugar and oil and other stuff. Well, I mean, obviously peanuts have oil. Yeah, I like pizza, I like fruit, raspberries, frozen yogurt. I had frozen yogurt today. It was really good. As far as drinks go, I'm not big on alcohol. If I do have alcohol, it's normally like champagne or something, or maybe wine and orange juice. Yeah, or occasionally like rum and coke. Yeah. But non-alcoholic drinks, I'll drink tea, I'll drink coffee. I love tea and coffee. I like caramel coffee, I like not caramel coffee. I like all kinds of tea. I drink a lot of tea. Can't really think of anything else to talk about. My list just run out. Oh well. I'm going to upload this, and then I think I'm going to go and have a shower. So yeah, I'm gonna call it quits for now. Yeah, thanks for watching. This has been like 20 minutes of me mumbling. Oh well. Hope you liked it. Bye.